Have you ever really thought about those little words that kind of glue our language together? I'm talking about words like in, on, over, and for. They seem so small, right? But these are prepositions, and they're like the secret architects of our sentences, building all the relationships between everything we talk about. So today, we're going to dive right in and figure out exactly how these tiny but mighty words work.
Okay, so check this out. You've got an elephant, you've got a lake, and you've got an action. But what actually connects them? Well, the word that gives this whole picture its meaning, its direction, is that tiny little word right there in the middle. Into. It tells us exactly where the elephant is going.
So, what's the deal? How is into any different from just saying in? Well, that is our mission today, to crack the code of prepositions. We are going to figure out precisely what these words do and how you can use them perfectly every single time. Ready? Let's get started.
All right, so first things first, we need to get a really clear definition on the table. What exactly are these words we're dealing with?
Okay, here's the official definition. A preposition's whole job is to show the relation, the connection, between different parts of a sentence. I like to think of it like a bridge. It's the bridge that connects a person, place, or thing to another word in that same sentence. And here is another fantastic example. See that word over? It connects the action walked with the location, a bridge. I mean, without over, the sentence they walked a bridge just doesn't make any sense. See what I mean? These little words are absolutely essential. Now, this is where things start to get really interesting, and honestly, it's where most of the confusion happens. So let's look at the very first major clue to cracking this preposition code, the huge difference between location and movement. This comparison just shows the difference perfectly. On the left, you can see the dinosaur is in the box. It's just sitting there. That's a fixed, static position. But on the right, well, now the dinosaur is jumping into the box. That's an action, right? A movement from the outside to the inside. And this brings us to a super important point, something we can totally call the golden rule. If you're talking about a fixed position, something just staying put, you use in or on. But if you're talking about movement towards that position, you're going to use into or onto. Simple, right? Let's see this rule in action in a quick story. So the jackal wandered into the village, that's movement. Then he fell into a barrel, bam, more movement. The preposition into is what makes that action feel so alive for us as readers. But wait, there's more. Prepositions do so much more than just show location and movement. They can also tell us why, when, and even who something belongs to. Let's expand our map here and look at some of the other jobs these amazing words can do. Let's take the word for. This one is a real multitasker. It can show that something is a gift, like a present for you. It can mark out a period of time, like waiting for an hour. Or it can explain the entire reason something exists in the first place. And here we go, a perfect example of that last job, purpose. What is this rake's purpose in life? Well, it's for gathering leaves. The word for connects the object, that rake, directly to its function. It's so efficient. Next up, let's talk about the preposition of. This little word is all about connection and what's inside something. It can show ownership or a relationship, and it can also tell you what something contains, like, a box of chocolates. This little bit from an old folk tale shows this perfectly. The fairy queen was a friend of his. See, the word of is what establishes that relationship, that sense of belonging between the two of them. Prepositions are also our best friends when it comes to organizing time. Take the word after. It is absolutely crucial for showing us a sequence of events. First, Dad is at work. Then, he comes home. That word after is what puts those two events in the right order for us. All right, let's get back to some action. It's time to look at one of the most dynamic, action-packed prepositions out there, over. Over is all about movement across or above something. But notice the two examples here. The sheep jump over the fence, right? They're moving from one side to the other. But the plane flies over the field, which means it's holding a position higher than the ground below. So two different kinds of movement, all captured by one powerful word. And of course, how could we forget this classic nursery rhyme? This might just be the most famous use of over in the entire English language. It's fun, it's super memorable, and it perfectly captures that idea of moving up and across something epic. Okay,
You've seen the definitions, you've learned the rules, and you've seen the examples. You have all the clues, which means I think you've officially cracked the code. So, you ready to put your new skills to the test? Let's do it! Okay, here's your first challenge. The cat is jumping, so it's in motion and it's landing on a surface. What's the right preposition here? Remember our golden rule? Movement towards a position. That's it. The cat jumped onto the sofa. Perfect. It shows the movement onto a surface. Great job! All right, one last challenge for you. Look at the plane's path and think about its position relative to the house. What preposition is going to best describe that movement? Exactly. The plane flew over our house. It's moving at a higher position, across the top of it. You've totally got this. Fantastic work. So you see, from in and on to for and over, these tiny words are your tools. They don't just connect other words. They build relationships, they show action, and they create entire scenes, entire worlds inside the mind of your reader. So the only question left is, what worlds will you build?